for EC2 and S3. So if you guys would like to come in, send me an email. I probably would like to sneak you. So, you know, okay. I can try my best to sneak you in. Don't worry. Come on.
I have paid for it.
So, but yeah, it's going to be a geek session tomorrow to just go and dig down hands towards coding about how to have Amazon EC2 and S3. So, a little bit about Amazon background. There are three distinct businesses of Amazon. And I'm not here to present, I'm not here to I want to encounter conversation. Let's be the audience 2.0 here and give me interactive stuff. So, you know, talk with me, ask questions, please interrupt me. So, there are three distinct businesses of Amazon. One business is the .com retail site, which is basically millions and millions of products online, 35, 39 product categories, lots of data centers and fulfillment centers. Anybody who has never bought anything from Amazon? Ever? What are you doing here, ma'am?
We are going no further.
So just kidding. .com retail side of things. There are second .com retail side of things. There's a second distinct line of Amazon, which is the merchant side of things, where merchants get the opportunity to put their products online and list their products online, so that they sell their own products. And they are the associates also, where they help Amazon sell Amazon products, and in turn earn a little bit of commission. So that's the associate, that's the affiliate side of things. And the third distinct line is developers. Amazon thinks developers are the serious business, and we love innovation and the creativity that we have seen over these years. So in the last 11 years, basically Amazon has created this massive infrastructure that sells like 1,000 Xboxes in 26 seconds and 1.6 million copies of Harry Potter and so many things. And for that, they need a highly scalable infrastructure. They need something that can scale out. And in the last 4 years, they have essentially taken off the cover of that infrastructure and then encouraging developers to take a look and peek inside the infrastructure. So, they've basically taken the entire .com store and unbundled that store and then threw in the sky and said, hey, use at your will, use as much as you want, pay as much as you need. That's basically what Amazon Web Services is all about. They have taken up components inside the infrastructure and then they're exposing via web services, which we call hosted web service paradigm. They are exposed so that other people can innovate on web services. So there are different different web services that are currently offered. Some of them are providing data as a service. Some of them are providing infrastructure or hardware as a service. Some of them are providing just plain people as a service, which is like the Amazon Mechanical Turk. Anybody who has not heard of Mechanical Turk? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I thought there was one that you have heard about Mechanical Turk. So Amazon Mechanical Turk is really, it's the most provocative service I've ever seen. Is one of those services where you get an opportunity to connect the work that has to be done with the workers that are really efficient to do it. And I have seen some really nice creative applications. So what it is, it gives you an ability to integrate human intelligence inside your application. So there are applications that are storage API, there are web services that are storage, that do storage, there are web services that get stock codes, there are web services that get postal codes. This is a web service that is kind of human intelligence web service. So what it does is basically the tasks that we are as humans are very easy for us to perform and very difficult for computers to perform. Like things like finding photographs, or finding human inside a photograph, or finding whether the photograph is vertically aligned or horizontally aligned. or doing podcast transcription, or those things, computers cannot do it yet. I mean, at least yet, because the advance of computer science is not yet being done. But, so we call this artificial intelligence. It's all about how we can integrate it, and because Amazon Mechanical Turk comes with like two great features. One is like it's a web service, so you integrate inside your application itself, and you can have lots of people do that particular task for you, and you create something what we call human intelligence task. It's a hit, what we call. There is the second advantage is it has a complete payment gateway attached to it, so you can have a reward attached to your hit. So you can say, hey, can you please find this particular human inside the photograph? So my brother came to me and said, he's one of those guys who would take 10 pictures of the same scene, 10 photographs of the same scene, and hoping that one will turn up right. He's one of those guys. So he has gazillion pictures. And he came to me and he said that, can you look at all these pictures and being the younger brother, get the ones that I am in versus I'm not in, which are craft photographs. I said, oh, I'm not doing that anymore, right? What if I am able to write a small little program that basically loops through all my photographs and calls Mechanical Turk, and I am passing the photographs on to the Mechanical Turk itself, and I ask a question, is my brother inside this photograph? And I say, I'm ready to pay some amount of dollar, I'm ready to reward somebody for that amount of dollars. And it comes back with a boolean, and if the boolean is true, I put it in one folder, if the boolean is false, I put it in another folder. So if I'm able to write some sort of that application that has the ability to integrate the human intelligence inside the application, and there are so many tasks that need human intelligence, right? So that's what Amazon Mechanical Turk is all about. Tomorrow we are going to talk about Amazon S3 and EC2. So S3 is what I call is like the infinitely scalable hard drive in the sky. It's the highly persistent storage. So if it's so simple that you have a blob of data and you give us the handle to that data. You give us the blob and give us the handle, and they use the handle as many times you need to retrieve the blob of data in any time, anywhere, any place, anytime access, kind of any device, kind of thing. It's object store. I call it's a distributed hash table, which has basically keys and values. So it's distributed across multiple data centers. It's like any push that you do on S3 gets replicated automatically across multiple data centers, so there is no single point of failure, and all things automatically use the Amazon's infrastructure behind the scenes. So, yes sir. It's called Simple Storage Service. I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
But does it have apples?
Yeah, it has actors. It has complete access control language, so you can have. So there are two things in S3. It's just plain to. That's the reason it's called simple. It's basically just two things: objects and buckets. So there are objects which are basically can be anything. It's just plain opaque for us. It can be files, movies. It can be binary data. It can be just serialized objects. Anything that you want. And it has buckets, which are basically object containers. So you put objects, you can put n number of objects in a bucket, and you can have around like 100 buckets per account or something like that. So it has complete access control privileges on the bucket as well as on the object. So you can put, you can have granular access, granular privileges on things. What I love about S3 is this has 4 functions that you have to use: cut, just delete, create, update, delete, and list. That's it. Basically, CRUD operation. So that 4 functions gives you complete access to Amazon's storage area network, and that's what I really love. And I use this all the time for hosting my pictures online. I have my application that I'm running and things like that. So it's just really nice to use simple API. So what EC2 is about? EC2 stands for, now I'll make sure I say that.
Elastic Cloud?
Elastic Compute Cloud. And also it has a meaning associated with it. Elastic computation cloud. So elastic compute cloud. It's what S3 is for storage, EC2 is for computation. So imagine this Web 2.0 world, and there are like so many tech crunches and so many blogs. Everybody we have so like progressed so nicely these years that you're becoming so transparent day by day. The web is becoming transparent day by day. We are seeing highly opinionated audience coming to the web, and they are commenting on the blogs, they are commenting on the data. They are generating so much data. We are 65,000 videos were uploaded in YouTube per day. I mean, it's like so many things that that user-generated content is being generated every point of time. And after a while, we'll see like so much data and so much good experience being shared. So I'm sure my dog will have a blog soon too. So it's like experience. I'm sharing my experience with other people, and I find like-minded people, and I build a good community. So there are lots of content being generated. There will be need of storage, and there will be lots of content, and we need to do lots of analysis of that data. We would need computation to work on that data, to do lots of cool things that we can do with that current data. So things like the Amazon e-commerce service is actually, have you seen that small little thing that says customers who have bought this product also viewed other products? I love that small little social networking thing, and it helps me like to know what other people are buying, and I would like to buy that. So things like that, and there are so many things that we can use with that content. So there is content, and there is computation that we will need, analysis that we will need to put on that data. Right? So there is storage and there is computation. And Amazon EC2 is all about computation. So let's say you have a current job that is a current computer processing job that is taking, say it's running for 500 hours. It's one CPU that's running for 500 hours and doing that particular job for you. It's a highly computationally intensive task and comes back with the results. Imagine if you can get 500 computers and that just runs for 1 hour and does the same job for you. Imagine the cost saving, maybe not cost saving, but just the time that has saved, right? The time has saved. Cost would probably be the same, right? So both S3 and EC2 come with a small, or you can say a good business benefit is it's paper drink, what I call it, or what Jeff Bezos calls it, paper drink. You only pay for as much as you use. If you use, say, 50 gigabytes, then you only pay for 50 gigabytes. You don't have to like pay for a 300 gigabyte hard drive space, and you're only going to use 50 gigabytes.
When are you going to serve? When are you going to let us create a server on the fly, a virtual server on the fly? Because right now it takes, what, 24 hours to set up a unit?
Oh, it takes less than 10 minutes.
No, that's not what you guys said.
EC2, it's less than 10 minutes. Pretty sure about that.
And what about
any word that comes out is probably already screened by a lot of VR and a lot of stuff, so it's 10 minutes basically, less than 10 minutes.
But I did a podcast with Jeff, who said one day, and he said you can't do on-the-fly stuff, and also, you don't get to like get this set up.
No, not at all. That's you made my point. So that's what you don't have to do. With the local data center, probably you will have to go to the data center, do purchase negotiations, do contract negotiations, do a lot of stuff, and then he will say, okay, I'll provision a server for you next 2 days, and you'll have to come and take the key, go to the data center physically and turn on the machine, so you'll be able to do that. All this in Amazon EC2 is a matter of minutes. In 10 minutes, you basically get as many servers that you need, and each server is roughly equivalent to 1.75 gigahertz of x86 machine, 1.75 gigabit of RAM, and has 160 gigabyte of hard drive space.
What do you charge for a server?
It's cool. I love you. That made me so clear. You're asking the right question. So it's again utility-based site. You only pay for as much as you use. It's basically we charge 10 cents per hour. So as soon as your instance starts, your metering starts, and you get billed for 10 cents an hour. And as soon as your instance stops, we stop the metering and you don't get billed. So say you want to do something. I'll open up this new thing. I was talking with my colleague, and we thought of something now to do something time based. Like let's say I want to build a time based community. Like it's something that starts at 2 o'clock on a Thursday, and then ends at say 7 o'clock on Thursday, and then I'm a small developer. I'm just working on, say, in my garage with one PC, and I don't have the infrastructure, but I have a cool idea that I want to implement. So something that is time-based and something that is possible by just making a simple web service call. So I can have 50 servers that I want for my application that just runs for 5 hours. That type of thing. So Amazon EC2, because it's a web service, you can instantiate an instance by just making a web service call. So what it is it actually provisions a hardware on Amazon's data center with Amazon's proven infrastructure. It provisions it allocates space, allocates resources, allocates physical hard drive space and the processing power in a matter of minutes. And what we do is basically we use a virtualization technology behind it that powers it. So that powers our infrastructure. So these are basically Amazon Mechanical Turk, Amazon EC2, Amazon S3. So yes, sir.
How do you guarantee me that I get the same quality every time?
Quality of what? Of the server instance?
Well, I can imagine that every time popularity might rise, we're losing this.
So excellent question. So Amazon has been through 11 Christmas cycles. Right? Amazon has enough bandwidth or enough data or enough knowledge to do the capacity planning ahead of time. So we know how much spikes we are going to get, how much data we are going to expect, how much we have the special algorithms that are basically running that tells us what it is. This knowledge basically is the .com knowledge, that .com experience that we are leveraging on the same EC2 and S3 and other things. That is, again, it's a very important thing when we come to capacity planning that you're talking about, right? If I have a startup and I'm trying to create and do capacity planning, it's just I cannot anticipate what my load is going to be because I'm creating a user-generated website. YouTube never knew that they're going to have 65,000 videos a day, right? And when I'm creating a blog entry, I might not even know how many people will come to my blog because how many people will reference it on my blog. So it's all generated by the load, right? So that's a very important thing. And to do that, we need highly sophisticated infrastructure. And that's where I believe Amazon is currently adding value. You don't have to do all that muck. What Amazon Bezos says, Jeff Bezos says, they don't have to do all that muck, and because we have already done that. So use the infrastructure out of the world.
So God forbid I have a problem with my Amazon Web Service. Who would I go to get help?
Varia at Amazon.com.
Fair enough.
How much does 50 gigabytes cost?
So, sorry, I didn't cover that. So how much does the storage service cost, right? So I apologize, I didn't cover that. It's I'm not the pricing, I'm not the sales guy, so I always forget the pricing information. But Amazon S3 is 15 cents a gigabyte per month and 20 cents per gigabyte for any transfer data, any upload and any download. So say you are storing 1 gigabyte, you will be only charged 15 cents a month. It's like per month you get 15 cents a bit. And I store all my pictures online. I get $1.50 for all my photos. That's how much. It's like 0.9 pounds, something like that, for $1.50, which I can afford.
What architecture is running this for this website?
Architecture as in?
As in what hardware, your OS, your storage?
So Amazon uses has this economies of scale, right? They have highly the commodity hardware running in the data center. So we do the best way to give the cheapest possible thing. So I believe the architecture-wise, are you talking with regards to the technology or just like the hardware it is based on?
The technology behind it.
Yeah, so it's basically SOA, what I call service-oriented Amazon. Not the SOA.
It's
Yeah,
really the
so,
same with the WS wrapper.
sorry?
It's the same with the web service wrapper, right?
It's that infrastructure with a web service layer and authentication layer and billing layer and metering layer and logging layer on the top of that. So it's a highly sophisticated in that sense.
So leading on from that, you're looking at SLA-based provisioning for autonomic scale up and scale down.
So that's a good point, that's a good segue that I'm going to talk about. So imagine a new world of elastic applications. So I'm just inventing this new word now, right? Elastic applications are something that an application can simply look at the pattern of, what the load is going to come. Say I'm going to have, say TechCrunch is going to have 50,000 users per view or something. I can look at the load. I can create such an application now that will look at the load pattern, understand what the pattern is, and actually spawn that many server instances and make an educated guess of how many more servers I'm going to need. Because everything is possible via web services, and I can actually spawn an instance without making an actual call on Amazon EC2, you can spawn that many instances. So one more feature in EC2 is we call Amazon Machine Image. What it is about is it's a complete pre-packaged, pre-configured environment of your product. So you get an instance, you put all your software on it, you configure it, you do Apache, you do MySQL, you do everything that you want, and you create an image out of that stores back on S3. And then you can use that image to clone that many instances you want. So when I'm looking at the load, I can just say, hey image, please instantiate yourself. And you can create that many instances on the fly and address, and then you do some configuration that will again host the load balancer, identify the load balancer and say these are the new instances that have come, so please address the new load to these servers. So elastic applications have been, scalability is just a very, very difficult problem to solve. Like right now, if you're just running one small little server off your garage and you're getting like 1,000 users a day or something, when you go to 10,000 users or 10 million users a day, then you will notice that scalability is such a very important
The
factor.
dangerous thing is then when you drop back down to 100 the next day.
So, correct.
Scale down is harder than scale up.
Scale down is more tough than scaling out. So scaling down means, say I am not having that much load today. Or say I'm having a Christmas carols music station website, right? And that just goes on for three months, like from October-ish time frame to December-ish time frame, right? People only try to listen to Christmas carols during the 3 months. But the rest of the year is it's kind of low. Like the traffic is low. They don't need that many servers to relay that much data, relay that much video or audio. So for the 3 months, I get to have 15 servers, and for the next 9 months, I just have 3 servers or 2 servers that will address my load. So it gives you the benefit of scaling out and scaling down. That's a very big advantage. You only pay for as much as you use, so you only save so many dollars or pounds in these things. Rather than the fact you have to like have 15 servers running all the time, maintain, do all that stuff, and keep it in your garage running, making sure that the cooling is right on the garage, and all those things that are the nitty-gritty details. Basically, Amazon takes care of all of that. That's what all Amazon Web Services is all about. Yes, question?
Quick question. Is it variable rate or flat rate pricing?
So it's flat, basically up to your usage. So if you use A plus BC.
Because your peak period is Christmas, yes?
Yeah. So
Is it more expensive going up to Christmas?
no, it will not be. Basically, the equation A plus BC is now A is getting eliminated. It's just the BC part now staying, and BC will be determined by your cost. And you made a point which basically whether it's Christmas time we will get less servers. Is that the case because we use more servers? No, it will not cost more because we have a separate. We are using the technology, we are using the infrastructure, we are using the experience to do it, but we don't share the infrastructure. So that .com and the other things are two separate stuff. Yes, sir. None. Nobody has found this product. I mean, I just feel, I'm really proud of this technology and the details inside, and I see the system almost every time. And the people will take a lot of time to get to that state that we are right now, and I'm really proud of it. So I don't think so there is any competitor. But if there are any, I would love to know more about them too. So EC2 you can, in Amazon EC2 you can install any version of Linux.
No, I think the question was more which version of Linux are you using internally, or are you not using Linux at all?
Is that the question, or EC2?
Never my architecture question, that's the question.
Oh, okay. Why didn't you discuss that?
Oh,
So-
and storage, particularly would be interesting.
Storage is like the storage
I
is
know
different than the
storage is.
computation.
What do you use it? NetApps?
Oh, we have our own proprietary system that will do the distributed systems, and it has the technology to completely replicate the system across multiple data centers. And I mean, these huge systems cannot work with existing software solutions that are available right now. We have created internally these systems that scale out
I
automatically.
know that feeling. What about your OS?
What else?
OS. Operating system.
Operating system. I mean, so we run on commodity hardware. I actually don't have more information on what type of software we run on, what operating system we run. But if the question is related to Amazon EC2, on EC2 you can install your own version of your operating system. So you can have Fedora. Currently, Amazon provides out of the box Fedora Core 4. And Fedora Core 4 with Linux and MySQL and a complete LAMP stack.
The reason I'm asking is your hardware and your operating system is very important for resiliency and redundancy, and so that's why I was curious what you're using.
So-
I mean, if you're using Windows system, it would be different.
Right. So question here was...
You have a Microsoftie behind you, by the way.
Yeah, there's a Microsoft on there too. Yeah, Microsoft.
Handbags outside later.
So yeah, what Amazon believes is hardware could fail. Hardware can fail, and it does fail. And believe me, my hard drive crashed when I was just coming over to London, and I had to change my stuff and move all my data around and all those things.
Don't get me started on hardware failure. This will
Yeah.
be painful.
So it becomes really complicated, and the life becomes complicated when you lose your personal data. When it's more important than the money. It's like more important because it's your moments of joy, or love, or whatever it is. So I usually say this: how many people put their money in mattresses these days? Why do they don't do that? Because it's not
Doesn't
secure.
make any more money.
Yeah, no, checking account doesn't make any money either. Right? But they put in a bank, right? They feel like they want to have access to the money, access to the infrastructure, access to the money anytime, anywhere, from any ATM and other things, and they feel that's more secure, right? And personal data is as good as money. Because I have my photographs, I have my movies, I have my personal data, and I want to make sure that it's secure at a different
So
place.
you have redundancy built into the architecture.
What have
You have redundancy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what.
So you do backups as well?
So it's redundancy itself, which will be one form of backup. They multiply automatically behind the scenes. Any push that you do on S3 replicates across multiple data centers around everywhere. So if the user is accessing from certain place, you get the nearest data center, so you get more speed too.
Am I right in thinking that your storage is resilient, but the compute is not? If you lose a compute instance, you just lose it.
That is correct. So because it's based on a virtualization technology, it has the
It's
it
in Zen,
could be,
by the way.
yeah, it's Zen.
It's Zen.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another thing
Yeah.
you're interested in.
Okay, so
I have-
EC2 has been
just
based
sorry,
on Zen,
just
but
another
S3
little
has been.
bit. You mentioned load balancer before. If I have a website and let's say I've set up a stateless web server and I've got 10 instances of it, okay?
Okay.
And they're all hitting, say, a shared.
Do you need the mic to?
No, well, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
So they're hitting a shared application database. What's doing the load balancing? Is that part of your infrastructure, or is that something I have to do?
So something that you will have to do. So we want people to install, experiment, innovate, and design whatever load balancing solution that they want. So it's an interesting point. One of the developers is running really has a neat idea, and he's doing something what we call self-cloning. So it looks at the CPU usage. As soon as the CPU usage goes about 80% of the time, and like for 5 seconds it's 80%, it automatically spawns the same instance again, so that it can address the load.
But both of those have different IP addresses, right?
Yeah, it will have different IP addresses, but you can just register from the load balancer, and you can just have the new IP address go to that new load balancer. And there are these features that you can read metadata off that instance.
Because I will ruin my voice. So I could, instead of buying a lot of new hard disks, just use your servers and upload my data to access it whenever I wanted to. Am I correct in assuming that your hard disks are lying in the US? Like your data centers are in the States. So actually that means, sorry to phrase the question, that whatever I put my data on, it would be in the US, so it would be not under privacy laws or anything, for example, from the European Union, but for the very, very, very used to non-existent privacy data to... Okay.
So I don't know where your data will be physically lying. I mean, we also don't know where it will be lying. We replicate across multiple data centers. So, and we don't disclose where the data center is actually located. But I am sorry, I don't know about the European laws. I'm not a lawyer. So
I think what you're pushing
We have privacy and you have not in the US. That would be the basic sum up of that.
But it's
Probably
a
might have.
democratization across the globe,
Yes.
and that's the problem. Whether what Amazon do, or what Google do, or what anybody else does, it's not the problem. It's the law that's the problem.
Yeah. No, but sorry. There is a business implication. No, there is a business implication to that. If you, for example, use the service of Amazon to build your application, and you're a European company, and you're bound to the European laws. Otherwise, if you really cannot guarantee, it's very nice to have the Amazon service, but unless you can guarantee you are in control.
If protecting your data is your problem, and if that's important to you, you probably won't use S3.
Yes.
True. Yeah. So it depends upon your application. If you think that you need that highly scalable infrastructure, and you want to, so there's a guy called that guy who's creating YouTube for PowerPoint. Like he is slideshare.net. He's a really nice guy, very smart, very he understands stuff really fun, and he is storing S3 for just one reason. Because he is a Ruby on Rails guy, and he is a anybody Ruby on Rails fans here? so it's basically he doesn't want his web server to get the load of the big PPT files that are running on the server. He wants S3 to handle all that load. So what it does is basically puts the PPT file as an object on S3, and then because every object gets a complete URL, it's a URL addressability, you can simply get the complete URL, and the end user, the browser who's using the browser, will get directly the file from S3. So all load gets offloaded from their web server to the S3 server. So that's just, he feels this is a very big advantage because of bandwidth and because of speed, and like his web server cannot scale, and that's why there's, so it depends upon what benefit you want to use of a particular web service, and if it fits, I think it's the best way to. Yes?
Do you allow the encrypted?
Excellent point, yes.
Are there any restrictions on the encryption on the level of...
It's just bag of bits for us. So you can encrypt it on your way, any algorithm you want. AES 58 is most familiar right now. People are using it because it's very easy to do. So they use AES algorithm to put their data encrypted, and then their application gets again decrypted and they use it. But there are certain performance hits due to encryption anyways, which we know. If you do an application, you will have to decrypt it again and things.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about data.
Sorry?
I'm talking about data still.
Yeah, data, right? Yeah, you can put your, it's because it's just bag of bits for us, you can encrypt your data, you can even store binary objects on the data. So,
Okay,
question?
I'm going to hold it to 2 more questions. There's one over there and there's one there. No? Just one?
Amazon have any intention to give these services away for free for regular Amazon customers?
Isn't this already cheap?
2 gigabytes of free data speed.
So free in the sense, Amazon again thinks this is a serious business, and I really like that. That's the important thing, right? We want people to think this as a serious business. We want to give a lot of support. We want to give a lot of good infrastructure to others. So if you look, usually people ask for like trial accounts and things like that to just try and do their stuff, but it's like 15 cents a gigabyte per month. Right?
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm actually getting at is that Amazon is quite a big brand and you offer a particular thing, and you're reaching out to other services, and people associate with you with your original capability. The shift to being a architecture service is a significant shift.
So,
are you very intentional of breaking it out, or using that brand to support this brand?
So, to answer your question, currently they don't offer any free services because they think Amazon is, this is the third distinct line of business for Amazon. They want to make money out of this. And does that mean that they will never offer any free level or free trial? No, I don't know. It might.
So it's a totally different customer channel.
Yeah, it's a totally different type of customer.
Which I know.
The other question.
Any other question?
I just make a point to say which is, I understand correctly, I can some information on the service if I encrypt it, but you haven't got content.
So good point about legal stuff, right? Yeah. So any copyright material, any illegal material that you store on S3, you have to abide to the licensing laws when you actually store. Right?
It's more personally identifiable information.
Yeah. So that is, this is encrypted, that's fine, and Amazon will not look into data because they want to. They feel that they want to look into that data. They will not. But if we find that there is some illegal copyright data where you are spreading or sharing lots of videos and movies and music online, then and if you come to know, we have the right to bring it down. So these are some of the licensing things that you have to abide to when you sign up for it.